It's Wednesday afternoon on the radio and on Spotify as well. Friday afternoon on YouTube. You know what that means. Ringside Heat is on the air on News Talk Saga 960 AM. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan, host and producer of the show. You can follow me at ringside_heat. That's the show. And you can follow it as well on YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, as well as Threads and Patreon. Follow me personally at LexTan Media. It is going to be a packed show here today, and it's going to be packed for me personally because I'm going solo on this one. This is just me in an empty arena right now. Just joking. But you know what? I have to say this. I know that I had to do this one by myself because I wanted to take this week off of producing a show. I went to go see the Phillies versus the Blue Jays last night at the Rogers Center. Oh, I'm sorry. Rogers Center, and I knew it would be extremely tight. I tried actually to record this show on the Monday night after Raw, but I was coming off of a workout, and I didn't have the energy to actually go on the air as well and record a show just by myself. And it was already midnight by the time I wanted to do it, so I already had lost the energy to do it. However, I'm doing this now Wednesday, just before airtime on Saga 960 AM at 2 p.m. So, hey, you know what? It is live. Well, it's as live as it's going to be right now, that's for sure. And I actually did want to skip this week, but I didn't. I couldn't. I knew that I couldn't because I heard about R-Truth's release for the WWE, along with Carlito not getting renewed, as well as Sarah Logan Valhalla as well. So I just said, okay, I can't take the week off. I need to add my voice to this conversation over here, and particularly about R-Truth. I'm going to start it off by saying I am baffled. I am disappointed. I am upset at the release of R-Truth. He's been with the WWF/WWE for 17 years straight. Before that, though, he was working as K-Quick with the Road Dogg Jesse James from 1998 to 2001. And during that time, he was a two-time hardcore champ. Then he was released in 2002, went to TNA, and then went under his real name, Ron Killings, but that's when he called himself The Truth. So Ron The Truth Killings, which is where WWE, when they picked him up, they gave the name R-Truth. So Ron Killings won the NWA women's. What am I talking about? The NWA World's Heavyweight Championship twice, and he'd be the first African American to hold the NWA World's title, and the first African American champ in TNA Wrestling / Impact Wrestling. Then he captured the NWA World Tag Team Championship twice, and also added the TNA World Tag Team Championships because two different entities there. Before returning to WWE in 2008, that's, as I mentioned, he was named by WWE as R-Truth going forward, no longer K-Quick. So 17 years ago. Think about this. It's been 17 years. He has been through 17 WrestleManias. And that's a long time, honestly. And during this time, he was, his Ron the Truth character when he started out. And basically, and there was this scene early on in his career where when John Cena was, I believe, part of the Nexus or something, or had to be part of the Nexus because that was how long ago R-Truth has been in this company as well. He was just, you told John Cena, there's a way out of this, just quit. And and it was like his serious, his villainous, I guess, in a sense, and his heel persona at that point, at that point in time. So you could see that he was already being considered to be, a big player on the stage because, John Cena, you don't get paired with John Cena at the prime of John Cena's career if you don't, if the company doesn't believe that you can bring something good to either John Cena, yourself, and to the company as well. So it's also during this time, the 17-year span of time, he was able to form Awesome Truth with Miz, and that was actually a lot of fun to at the time when when the Miz and Ron Killings, the Truth, or R-Truth rather, would come out in Monday Night Raw, and of course, Ron Killings, R-Truth, would be rapping a song "What's Up," and then instead of saying "What's up," they would be responding instead, "You suck," to the crowd in order to get that heel persona going and everything. And they were a heel faction for a while, and they were really fun and entertaining as a heel faction. And then, of course, it was at this time that he was being paired up with Truth. That when Truth and Miz were being paired up, that they took on John Cena and The Rock in the once in a lifetime tag team championship, or whatever, or however they built it back in the day, and that was really exciting because it was John Cena. Of course, people were still 50-50 about John Cena, which was great because it was just loud every time in the arena that John Cena took to the ring. But you also had The Rock coming back as well, and you knew that there was going to be a dust up because those two didn't get along. And there was already a buildup of, from the 2008 Hall of Fame when John Cena was called out by The Rock, and The Rock roasted him for the Marine. And then, of course, I believe it was before that or after that or somewhere in that vicinity where John Cena went on and just talked about Rock as a part-timer. Guess what? They took that and made that into a story. And guess what? As well, R-Truth was a big part of that, and a big part of that, as they were the reason. Truth and Miz were the reason that John and The Rock were able to get along for one day. Survivor Series in 2011, and then that led into the once in a lifetime match at WrestleMania 28, the twice in a lifetime match at WrestleMania 29. But as you can see, it's Truth and Cena have been integral parts of each other's journeys in this in this group over here, or in his time in WWE, which obviously plays so well into the fact that John that R-Truth eventually called John Cena his hero, and then it morphed into childhood hero, and that's something we'll get into a little bit later. But he also showed his comedic side with the whole childhood hero thing, but not just that, with the little Jimmy gimmick, and also all the little skits that they did with Carmella, that Truth he did with Carmella, and with the 24/7 365 to the Power of 14 6-1 championship. And on top of that, he would interrupt with some of the most confusing non sequitur thought that was so out of left field. It was hilarious. And I think I've said this on the show before, but I say this to all my friends whenever I talk with them. If something is like really like corny and really like just out of nowhere, you gotta go hard right into the out of the nowhere stuff, because if you don't go hard in the out of nowhere stuff, it kind of like it kind of lessens the joke a little bit. But if you go really really into it, then people understand that, like, yes, and you're playing a character. You're if you're acting, your character has to think this is like the most serious thing ever, while you as the person acting as this character have to know how to deliver that joke. And the way you deliver that joke is to go full all in. And that's what R-Truth was able to do. And that's why he was so effective as a comedic character in wrestling in WWE. And so another one of those things is that back, I think it was 2016, that he would enter the Women's Royal Rumble only to take out a ladder and climb up the ladder to find there was no Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, that is that's just that it's again, it's one of those things that is so out of left field, but it makes so much sense for R-Truth's character, being that we already started to know him as a more comedic character at that point. And then there's another few instances where he would be go out there and just say that that I'm going to qualify for Money in the Bank, or I'm going to win the Money in the Bank, and then you have to be told by whoever was in charge at the time, Truth, you're not even in the match. I'm not? Huh. Oh, my bad. No, that's on me. And again, now it's something that makes people, that made everybody in the audience laugh. It made the wrestlers laugh. More recently, when Truth and Miz, the Awesome Truth, captured the Raw Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania 40. I was overjoyed. I was actually overjoyed to see Truth get his WrestleMania moment, that he was able to get that Tag Team Championship with the Miz, because it's been a long time since they had that they had been, I guess, relevant in the tag team division together, and I believe they did have the tag team championships back in the day in 2011, and that era of the Awesome Truth. But as faces, this is something that didn't happen. They actually had the championship, and then the next night on Raw, when Triple H and Adam Pearce were revealing the new pizza championships that Truth referred to him as, I think. He calls Triple H Tommaso Ciampa, and for those of you who are just listening the first time, you don't know who Tommaso Ciampa is. He is a wrestler who had a big feud with Johnny Gargano. He's part of the DIY stable tag team with Johnny Gargano, and he has a very similar look to Triple H. Shaved bald head, big beard. Triple H is kind of the same thing right now, and that's why R-Truth was able to call him Tommaso Ciampa and actually break Triple H. And actually, you could see Triple H just looking away, trying to hold his laughter a little bit. He was able to hold it better than Jey Uso ever was able to do. That's for sure. But either way, that was great that happened. And then on top of that, the whole Judgment Day storyline, the multitude of laughs he was able to bring to help make Judgment Day likable through their villainous ways, and for instance, referring to Dominic Mysterio as two Mysterios, Tom, which is Dom, and Nick. Who the heck is Dom? Who the heck is Nick? He never met Nick before, but he certainly met Dirty Dom. And he also reminded the universe, the WWE universe, that how much love and how much he valued the Judgment Day. And he asked the universe to remember to live, to laugh, and to love. Totally, 100%, 180 degrees in the opposite direction of the Judgment Day and what they were trying to do. And I honestly believe it's not just that, but it's also, the mommy and Dominic Mysterio thing and all those things that was happening that actually made the Judgment Day, that took them over the top. And of course, everybody's got that little thing. Of course, Damian Priest, being the guy that was rising up through the ranks and, eventually breaking away from the Judgment Day and becoming the champion. And the dynamics that were ongoing over there, that was something that helped as well, that helped the Judgment Day out. But you don't want to sleep ever on R-Truth and his comedic stylings in order to, that help the Judgment Day continue to be a viable stable. Almost 3 years in, 3 years in, started by Edge, Adam Copeland, whatever you want to call him, and brought in Mommy and brought in Damian Priest, and now they're successful as faces on their own. So it all plays a part, and it's only in this wild and wacky world of wrestling that you can get these things happening, and some of it is maybe even improv, thought of on the spot, and maybe just maybe discussed very, very very, very sparingly, as they say, this is what I want to do. This is how do you think this will happen? And then WWC might say, yeah, sure, go ahead. Or if you are just or if you are just starting out, if you're in the indies or something like that, and just saying, you talk it over. Hey, you know what? Let's try this idea, how this is going to happen. Cool. Let's experiment. Let's go through it right now. And the fact that R-Truth was able to make this work on the big stage was amazing. And then getting back to the whole childhood hero thing. Truth is 5 years older than Cena. And I think the earliest clip I could find in a quick search was he started calling Cena his hero all the way back from 2019 while he was teamed up with Carmella. So I'll say this. The man is funny with some of the best comedic timing in all of wrestling. The man is entertaining as a heel. He is entertaining as a babyface and versatile as a babyface, bringing something new while keeping true to what made him click with the fans in the first place. Again, 53 years old. He is a freak of nature in the best way. He is like, if I could compare him to anybody, 44-year-old Nolan Ryan pitching his 7th no-hitter against the 1991 Toronto Blue Jays at a point in the Blue Jays history where they were the most feared team in baseball. PCO, who is 57 this year and still can out-wrestle many people out there and still doing hardcore death matches because he's not human. That's a spoiler. R-Truth doesn't show signs of slowing down in the ring. He can still do the splits at 53. If he is slowing down, he's doing a hell of a job covering it up. And even his childhood hero admits that he's lost that he himself, John Cena himself admits that he's lost a step. He's not as strong and he can't go as hard as he used to go when he was in his 20s. But truth, I think he's honestly probably better than he's ever been. Not just in his character, but in ring too. So you've heard in AEW, Anthony Bowens talk about being a 5-tool player in wrestling. I think R-Truth is the 5-tool player, the true 5-tool player, as we were discussing with Colin last week rather. Number 1, solid in-ring chops. He's great in the ring, and he still looks like he can go and out-wrestle so many guys, so many guys on that roster. Number 2, maestro of the microphone. Wow, like I've already been talking how amazing his character has been and how versatile his character has been and how he connects with the fans. Maestro. Number 3, he is an actor who can play anything. He's a babyface, a heel, delusional. He's comedic. He's dramatic. Again, 5 tools right there in his acting, in his acting toolbox. Number 4, great person to talk to. Very gracious. And he gives a lot more of his time to the fans than what is required. And I know this because last March the 1st at Elimination Chamber, when I was able to meet Truth over at the Skydome, and Alexa Bliss as well too. He was very genuine. I told him that, like, hey man, you are amazing. You are hilarious. You are funny. You are one of the best people in this company, and I think that you are I think you are a first ballot Hall of Famer, man. And he's like, man, I appreciate it so much. And he gave me a hug and everything, and he spent some time just chatting with us. So again, he didn't need to. With Alexa Bliss, it was very much, and don't get me wrong, Alexa Bliss is a sweetheart, and she was very, very gracious to have, myself and Chico with her and everything, and the rest of the fans as well. But it was like, hey, how you doing? Oh, thank you so much. Hey, let's take a picture, whatever like that, right? But Truth, he spent some time to chat. So again, great with the fans. That was a great person to talk to. The 4th tool. Number 5, cross-promotional marketing potential. Just checking his playlist on Spotify, the music he's done recently, including When It All Adds Up. He's got some good music out there. He's got some really, really, really good music out there. And I think I might just add his entire library to my playlist because, I like the way he's starting to blend hip hop and country music together. That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. So there you go. 5 tools. Perfect player in wrestling. So the storyline potential as well of being able to help John Cena back from the dark side and it would make for an awesome yet very much inverted Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader callback from Star Wars Episode 6. So thinking about all of these things, in my mind, WWE couldn't have lucked out on a more complete performer in Ron, the Truth Killings, R-Truth. So I thereby ask the question, why the hell would WWE release the guy? It's a confounding move. People would have expected something like that from Vince McMahon. Ironically, he was the one who kept Truth employed, allowed him to do all the stuff that resonates with the fans long after Vince McMahon himself got ousted. And even with John Cena giving R-Truth the Attitude Adjustment and defeating him at SNME at Saturday Night's Main Event, the Attitude Adjustment during a press conference. Afterwards, Truth does the scene where he claims he can still see the light in Cena and he can bring him back. Unfortunately, he's not going to be the one to bring him back. After all of this, Monday Night Raw, Tulsa chanting throughout the night, "We want truth." It's clear and simple. The fans, the WWE Universe, they want the truth. Yes, and we can handle the truth. He deserves to be the one of the key players to bring John Cena back. It would be an amazing full circle moment because it would also tie in all that time from back then, from the awesome truth, R-Truth and Miz. Imagine that, buying back Cena's soul from The Rock and putting a bookend on the awesome Truth versus Cena and Rock match from 2011 Survivor Series. Unfortunately, that job is going to have to go to someone else now. Who's it going to be, though? Cody? Randy Orton? CM Punk? It can't be the Wyatt Six, because, Bray was the one who brought Cena to the brink of the dark side in the first place. Long-term story. Amazing. Also, I'm going to say this. If this happens not to be real, and I cross my fingers to think that it might not be actually real, but it is some sort of a kayfabe 2.0 deep work. Truth actually isn't gone, but WWE is setting up a redemption angle for John's ultimate redemption arc and bringing in Truth later on to surprise us. Maybe even have him show him up in TNA, not as R-Truth, but as Ron the Truth Killings all over again. And not as the comedic R-Truth, but as the Truth, Ron Killings. Unfortunately, announcements about being let go are 99.9999999% true. So we just have to lament that WWE doesn't want him for now, and just wish Truth, Carlito, and Valhalla, Sarah Logan, the best in their future endeavors. Just before we go to break, I want to read a couple of these reactions, actually, that have been compiled on the from X. So Ron Killings did say, "I'm sorry to inform you all that I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every one of you who was along for the ride. Thank you for all the love, support, appreciation you have given me over the years. Thank you." Rhea Ripley responds, "In all seriousness, this is literally so heartbreaking. Thank you, Truth." Alexa Bliss, "Thank you." 2 hearts, 3 crying emojis. Bailey, "Lucky to have you." Broken heart emoji. Trinity, Fatu, "I hate this so much." The Miz, "Forming Awesome Truth with you was one of the best runs of my career. No one made me laugh harder. Your energy, heart, and smile lit up every room and every arena. You're not one of a kind. You're one in a lifetime. Love you, Truth. Keep shining." Sorry, getting a little emotional here. Kevin Owens, "I've said many times that there are few people in this industry whom I have unlimited respect, love, and admiration for. Ron Killings is at the very top of that list. An incredible, timeless performer with an unmatched ability to entertain and bring a smile to anyone. To bring a smile to anyone he encounters, be it the fans or every single person lucky enough to have had the privilege to work alongside him. His kindness, humility, and infectious good nature makes him one of the most beloved people I've met in this industry, and the void that his absence will leave in our locker room is immeasurable. I love you, dude." Big E, "No one made me laugh backstage more than Ron. I've known this man for 13 years. He treated me like a brother from the very first day. Never saw him in a bad mood. A man who could spread kindness and joy every chance he could." "I love Ron Killings," says Pat McAfee. "It's a guaranteed joy when he's part of a segment. He is also my dad's favorite WWE superstar of all time. The McAfees are bummed, but we know R-Truth will continue to bless the world with his big-ass brain. Thank you, Truth." And that's the thing as well, too. Thank you, Truth, for 17 years of entertainment. Sure, we want to see more, but 17 years is more than a lot of people do get. And we're just lucky to be along for the ride. So thank you for taking us on that ride, Truth. And for all of you out there who are disappointed with WWE right now, as Truth would say, you just got to continue to live, laugh, and love. When we return, we will talk about AAA, Worlds Collide, and Money in the Bank. That's happening this Saturday when we come back with more Ringside Heat on Newstalk Saga 960 AM, back after these promotional considerations.
Looking for one single face.
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on Newstalk Saga 960 AM. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan. Follow me at Lex Tan Media. I am the host and producer of the show, and I'm on my own today. Follow the show at Ringside_Heat on all social media platforms. And of course, this show is brought to you by Outlier by John Dawson. It is a great album. You should pick it up at anywhere that you stream or buy your music digitally. As well, you can pick up a vinyl version of it at johndawsonmusic.myshopify.com. It is also one of those thicker vinyls as well, so it is going to last you a long, long time. So make sure you pick up a copy of that. This weekend is a big weekend, another big weekend for us. You thought last week was big, and that was really big. 3 promotions putting on 5 shows. It was insane how inundated with wrestling that we are right now, but inundated in a good way because there was a long time, and yes, I understand WWE had bought its competition, but it was a time where you could only have WWE on TV, and there was only and WWE produced a lot of content. It was a lot of content, and really kept professional wrestling in the whole mix of people's minds and everything. But now you have the AEWs and the TNAs, and then now we're getting introduced by AEW to New Japan Pro Wrestling. But also, we all know New Japan Pro Wrestling and the Japanese wrestling promotions from the Joshi performers that we have in WWE as well, from Kairi Sane to Io Sky and Julia. And congratulations again to Julia for making it onto the main roster of the WWE as well. Very, very short time in making it to the main roster. But this one is big as well because it is Money in the Bank this weekend. Yes. So that's going to set up everything that's going to happen in the next couple of months leading up to SummerSlam. But it is also AAA Worlds Collide this weekend. The first that is it's not the first produced by WWE because they've been helping produce Worlds Collide since 2019, but this is the first AAA Worlds Collide since WWE officially incorporated them into the WWE family. So we are going to look at the card for AAA Worlds Collide as well as the Money in the Bank, and we're going to get to that. I'm just going to get the card out here on my other screen for both of them. And we're going to talk first about Worlds Collide. They've got 5 matches that are announced for this Saturday so far. So the first match announced over here, at least on the in the card in order that we've seen it so far, Legado del Fantasma, which is Santos Escobar, Angel, and Berto versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown in a 6-man tag team match. All 6 of them. This is going to be one heck of a lucha libre fest. Oh my goodness, and I am all for it. That is a perfect way. If they're the first match of the show, perfect way to start off the match. Second match announced on the card, El Hijo del Vikingo versus Chad Gable for the AAA Mega Championship. And of course, the running joke is with Chad Gable that he is also El Grande Americano. Apparently, Michael Cole can see it. Pat McAfee can't see it. And so it's funny. It's hilarious to hear the back and forth between those two. Because, the way that Pat McAfee is playing is playing this off is that he really believes that Chad Gable and El Grande Americano are two different people, and that's because a couple of months ago, it was Kathy Kelly who was confronting Chad Gable about his actions as El Grande Americano, and then in the same shot in the background, you see somebody, quote unquote El Grande Americano being carted off by security, and so so there you go. That's Pat McAfee's proof. Of course, Michael Cole doesn't believe that, and of course, that's the running joke. Pulling back the curtain a little bit here. Let's have some fun with it, even though we pull back the curtain here on the show. It was a lot of fun hearing McAfee and Michael Cole. Cole saying like, yeah, Chad Gable is going to have a lot of work to do. He's going to be working. Worlds Collide, and then has to go immediately across the street over to the Money in the Bank, and then McAfee immediately responds. It's like, nope. It's Chad Gable's match is going to be done after his match at Worlds Collide, and El Grande Americano, he's going to have he's going to be fresh going into his match at Money in the Bank. Anyway, I digress. Ethan Page puts up the NXT North American Championship versus Javon Edwards, Laredo Kid, and Ray Fenix. Again, amazing. How Ray and amazing. It's like you have two North American guys versus the two Lucha guys. So it's always fun to see the mix between the two styles of professional wrestling, and Ray Fenix in WWE with Penta as well, all working for the WWE family. Who'd have thought, honestly? Then you got Stephanie Vaquer, who's going to be wrestling her first match of the day versus Lola Vice, Chick Tormenta, and Dalys in a tag team match. And again, that's another one of those matches where both Stephanie Vaquer and Chad Gable are wrestling in the same night, but not according to Pat McAfee. Latino World Order, Dragon Lee and Cruz del Toro are going to be taking on Lince Dorado, rather. So Latino World Order, which is Dragon Lee and Cruz del Toro, and Lince Dorado are going to be taking on Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana, 6-man tag team match. Again, another crazy Lucha Libre match. All for it. It's going to be so much fun. Again, Stephanie Vaquer, this one, she doesn't have the title on the line over here, but I'm expecting this to play into the match that she's going to be having at Money in the Bank, because it's already pretty tiring to wrestle one match. And some people, they wrestle a match as well too. They have to actually go through their steps and their motions of what they want to accomplish in a match. So they're already expending some energy doing that. And some actually, if you're in the old school, you choreographed a match like Macho Man and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat did, 100% choreographed, and it was amazing. One of the best matches in WrestleMania history, alongside the Undertaker Shawn Michaels match at 25. So anyway, all that to say, it's already going to be tiring. She's already going to be taking bumps at this time. And so she's going to be in Money in the Bank. They could turn that into a story. I think that's going to be happening. It is going to be interesting to see what Stephanie Vaquer does between both of these two shows that are happening. We're going to take a break right here, and we're going to set up the men's and women's Money in the Bank and the rest of the matches that are being announced for that night, and everything that is that could be going on in that pay-per-view. We'll be back after these promotional considerations.
Under all the lights, with only everyone, he's looking for one single face.
And And welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Saga 960 AM. Lex Tan at Lex Tan Media, host and producer of the show, all by myself here today. Ringside Heat at ringside_Heat. Pick up your copy of Outlier by John Dawson at johndawsonmusic.myshopify.com, or stream it and buy it wherever you stream or buy your digital music. Follow the show on YouTube, on Instagram, on X, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Threads, on Patreon. And of course, if you have anything that you want to advertise, you let me know. We'll read it here on the air. We'll put it on the YouTube. We'll put it on the radio. We'll put it on Spotify as well. And so that everybody that listens to the show can get your message and whatever you are selling and what you want them to buy from you. And hey, you know what? Your ad here. Money in the Bank this Saturday. It's going to be taking place at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. I believe that's the replacement for the Great Western Forum. At least it was called the Great Western Forum, but the Forum in Los Angeles. So Inglewood, California. This is the home of the LA Clippers, who have moved there after spending almost a quarter century over at Staples Center, sharing the stage with their more accomplished cousins, the LA Lakers, of the National Basketball Association. And at Worlds Collide is actually going to be taking place at the Kia Forum at Inglewood, California. So it's literally across the street from each other. It is the old, formerly known as the Los Angeles, the Fabulous, the Great Western Forum, and now known as the Kia Forum, still being in use right now. And if you're you're a fan of GTA 5, you can actually visit the forum, because they actually use the forum in GTA 5 as well. So hey, you know what? That's pretty cool. But all of it's going to be in Inglewood, as Tupac would say, Inglewood up to no good. Anyway, Money in the Bank. Here we have the men's championship: Solo Sikoa versus LA Knight versus Penta versus Seth Rollins versus Andrade versus El Grande Americano for the ladder match. In the ladder match for the men's championship match contract, you have Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, Stephanie Vaquer for the women's championship match contract and briefcase. You have a tag team match between Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, taking on John Cena and Logan Paul. Just a little grudge match here, but setting up for something so much more. Last chance match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship on the women's division between Lyra Valkyria, who is the champion, taking on Becky Lynch. And if Becky Lynch loses, she can no longer challenge for the title as long as Valkyria is the champion. If Valkyria loses, she will be forced to raise Lynch's hand and acknowledge Lynch as the better woman. Good story. I'd say good story between Lyra and Becky Lynch so far. Becky, she's also a mistress of the microphone, so she is she is really doing a bang up job with her. With her end of the deal over here in promoting this match. Lyra Valkyria, she has also taken a step up in her character and her, emotional, her acting as well, display. So that's going to be a fun match to watch between these two. And of course, Lyra Valkyria always looked up to Becky Lynch, so there is that particular storyline going as well. So one of those never meet your heroes thing. Kind of like the same way where John Cena and R-Truth never meet your childhood heroes. Anyway, but Money in the Bank. Let's talk about that. Let's go to the women first. Again, congratulations to Stephanie for her promotion of the WWE Raw roster. And as well, congratulations to the women's division over the past few weeks. The triple threat matches to qualify for the ladder match have been top notch. Some of the best triple threats I've seen in WWE, along with the men's end as well. And it all continues this trend we're seeing all over the industry, especially in MLPW, Northern Rising at Maple Leaf Gardens. Speedball Mike Bailey versus Gabe Kidd and Michael Oku. Amazing triple threat match. And of course, Speedball Mike Bailey is one of the craziest guys out there, like crazy good wrestlers. Just has he's a meld of so many different professional wrestling styles, and one of the most fit and fast out there. So at the same time, being at the powerhouse, he is a very well-rounded wrestler. So if you ever watch a Mike Bailey match, Speedball Mike Bailey match with AEW or TNA Wrestling or wherever he is going to be on the Indies, wherever, you'll never be disappointed. And you will not be disappointed by going to Maple Leaf Gardens, the Mattamy Athletic Center, to watch professional wrestling. It is the same venue that held the match between Lou Thesz and the original Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers, and which directly led to Vincent Jess McMahon and Toots Mon breaking from the National Wrestling Alliance and forming the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. So not only are you watching wrestling in a great venue, you're watching wrestling in a most historic area and location. So I do have to say, though, after all that being said, at first watch, I thought the ending of the Vicaire, Liv Morgan, and Ivy Now match was a little bit clunky at first watch. So the ending started with Liv hitting a code breaker on Vicaire, decent code breaker. I also noticed, though, that Liv had to give Stephanie an extra kick so that she could set up near the ropes for Liv to give her the Oblivion. I don't know if that was planned or improv on the spot, but a real good heads-up play there by Liv Morgan to get Stephanie to go to the proper position. And after a pin attempt by Liv, broken up by Ivy Nile, Morgan and Nile have a brief exchange, which ends up with Liv getting a face full of steel ring stairs, Nile going after Vicaire only to be taken down with an SVB, a neck breaker onto Vicaire's knee, going down for the 1-2-3. The finish itself might have been a touch clunky compared to the rest of the match and the execution of the moves of the rest of the match. But it was overall a real good showing between all three women. Very good debut for Stephanie Vicaire on the WWE main roster, now having the chance to win Money in the Bank. So now you have, as I said, La Primera versus the Prodigy, the Beautiful Madness, Naomi, no longer the Glow Naomi, Mami, and Alexa Bliss, Little Miss Bliss. And again, I think I'm more excited about this match than the men's match, to tell you the truth, because of the opportunity, the storylines, and that could happen from it. However, if I were to go through process of elimination, it's none of the NXT call-ups would be able to eat the loss of the cash-in right now, Well, yeah, I should get into that first. I would have to say that the cash-in rate for the men is at 76%. The women, 8 for 8, 100%. So one of these days, one of the women is going to have to take that loss. And at this point, the only one who could win a loss from a Money in the Bank briefcase cash-in is Mami, because she's been the most prominent woman on the roster, the title reign that really elevated her. As I said, none of the NXT callers could eat the loss of a cash-in match. Naomi's heel persona would look really, really weak as she did. Alexa could win Money in the Bank and eat the loss in a cash-in if it meant it could bring her further into the dark side and be part of the Wyatt Six. So, personally speaking, I'm a sucker for seeing the Beautiful Madness win the briefcase herself, but I don't think that she is going to be able to win on a cash-in, and I don't want her to be the one to eat the pin on a cash-in. So I think maybe it'll be to get the briefcase. Just to get the briefcase, it'll either be Alexa or Stephanie. By process of elimination, Roxanne. Interesting story going to the Judgment Day with Liv Morgan, and with Liv Morgan rather. So Judgment Day and Liv Morgan, I should say. Naomi could have some fuel for her character since eating the loss at WrestleMania with Jade Cargill. Mami doesn't need it herself either. So. And so I think Julia needs a little bit more time. Alexa already is a triple crown champion in WWE and should be given the opportunity to hold and have a run with the briefcase for an extended period, and then she can cash in and become champion again. Or she could lose it, and she could also lose her sanity once more and go with the Wyatt Six. Vicaire might be already ready for a title, but I do wonder if it would be too soon. And but the fun fact, though, tying in with Money in the Bank, it would actually kind of be a full circle thing, because it was at Money in the Bank here in Toronto that she was actually here in the city and doing negotiations with WWE with her contract and to bring her into the company. So I guess all that to say is, I don't know. I just want to watch and see and have fun. Probably, I would love to see Alexa win, maybe Julia as well, but that might be too soon. And we just have a few minutes over here. So for the men, Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Penta, Seth Rollins, Andrade, Penta, and El Grande Americano / Chad Gable, who Michael Cole seems to believe is Chad Gable, according to Pat McAfee. LA Knight would win. I personally would like to see him because I think he's good with the chase and might be due time to see him with the title all over again, but he is still okay without the title, so he might not win. His character, the promo skills, and connection with the fans is enough to keep him going without having a belt around his waist. So, Andrade could do with or without the contract at this point. I'm not sure how much heat that he could build as the Money in the Bank winner. El Grande Americano would be a lot of fun. I just don't see it happening, and just a bit too early in the history of that particular character. If you separate between him and Chad Gable, blah blah blah, works well with Seth Rollins. It'll strengthen his power dynamics in the company and on the roster with the new Paul Heyman stable and Bronson Reed and Bronson Rechsteiner. Braun Breaker, that's the way his name is, yes. But the thing is, the person I think he sorely needs the championship briefcase, and the match is Solo Sikoa. His time as head of his bloodline with the Tongans and Jacob Fatu has fallen quite flat. And up to this day, I don't know if it's a solo thing. That's a combination of the denouement of the Roman Reigns story, or the fact that Jacob Fatu, just by being himself, is upstaging cousin Solo in everything from his character work, his in-ring ability, the crowd engagement. I would not be surprised if he was able to upstage Solo in merch sales too. So Solo may not need that briefcase in order to keep his status in the bloodline, so we could get more "I love you" solos from Jacob, because that man could break out on his own and wouldn't need his cousin or the Sons of Haku, the Tongans, to be a big star. And if that man could take the big finishers from all the other established superstars, no-sell the finisher, and the crowd loves him even more for it, it should be Solo saying to him, "I love you, Jacob." Especially if Jacob Fatu gets involved and actually helps Solo win the Money in the Bank briefcase. So there you have it. That's my preview for AAA, Worlds Collide, and WWE Money in the Bank for this coming Saturday. I'm not going to have a live stream. I'm going to go have a watch party over at Chico's house because his cousin Harvey's in town. So we will find a way to get a live stream going sometime in the near future. But hey, special occasions, people come into the city. Let's watch some Money in the Bank and have fun as wrestling fans. Thank you for listening to this episode of Ringside Heat, watching this episode of Ringside Heat on Saga 960 AM, Spotify, your favorite podcatcher, as well as on YouTube. My name is Lex Tan. Follow me at Lex Tan Media and follow the show at Ringside_Heat. So thankful that you were able to stick with me for the past, 45 minutes or so to talk wrestling, to talk our truth, to talk listen to me flap my gums, basically, as Stone Cold Steve Austin would say. Back again next time with more fun wrestling talk here on the radio, on Spotify, and on YouTube. This is Ringside Heat, and we remember the things that you probably forgot.